It looks like the drama between SZA and Nicki Minaj just reached a whole new level. In a surprising turn of events, SZA has called out Nicki, accusing her of trying to sabotage her career, just like Meek Mill once claimed. With tensions rising and fans choosing sides, this feud is heating up fast. Let's dive into what went down and how things got to this point. So apparently there's some drama brewing between Nicki Minaj and SZA now, after SZA allegedly ditched Nicki for Lotto. People are saying that Nicki's having a hard time keeping her friendships together lately, and it's kind of concerning. The beef between Nicki and SZA supposedly goes all the way back to 2015, when SZA helped write Nicki's verse on Beyoncé's "Feeling Myself." Everyone was shocked to hear about this because SZA is known for minding her own business, but Nicki seems to find problems wherever she goes. Their beef has been kept on the down low for a while, but it started to resurface when SZA began showing love to Lotto. The whole thing apparently kicked off in 2022 when Cardi B featured on a remix of Summer Walker and SZA's song No Love. Right after that, Nicki unfollowed both Summer and SZA on Instagram, and they quickly returned the favor. Fans didn't waste time calling Nicki out for being petty. Nicki is just picking problems with any artist to stay afloat. Like SZA is so sweet and she don't get time to deal with this type-ish. And every time she cuts someone off BC her beef with Cardi. Some even posted screenshots of the unfollows, calling her out for unfollowing people just because they worked with Cardi. But the drama doesn't end there. Even though Nicki and SZA were close back in the day, SZA didn't mention Nicki at all in an interview when she was asked about working on Feeling Myself, only giving Beyoncé props. Fans found that pretty suspicious, especially since SZA and Nicki were once tight, hanging out and even wearing matching outfits in pictures together. SZA didn't even follow Nicki back on Instagram until 4 years later in 2019. Then, things got shadier when Nicki released her album Pink Friday 2, and SZA didn't acknowledge it, even though Nicki sampled SZA's vocals on one of the tracks. Some Nicki fans even tagged SZA, asking her to recognize the song, but she blocked a few of them instead. This led to speculation that something must have happened between them during the making of the track. To make matters worse, right before Pink Friday 2 dropped, SZA was accused of trying to sabotage Nicki's album by announcing a deluxe version of her own album, SOS, with new songs and visuals. Fans thought SZA was trying to steal Nicki's spotlight, and the backlash was so intense that SZA never even released the deluxe version. Adding fuel to the fire, an old tweet from 2011 resurfaced, where SZA suggested that Nicki needed to step up her game because Iggy Azalea was coming for her spot. Nicki's fans were definitely not happy about that when they found out. It seems like SZA has been keeping her distance from Nicki while aligning herself with Nicki's rivals, like Cardi B and now Lotto. People are wondering if SZA and Nicki are actually beefing, or if this is just another case of fans overreacting and stirring the pot. Now it seems to a lot of people that we might see a situation similar to the one we had with Meek Mill. See, Nicki was allegedly involved in that drama too. And here's how. Remember when push came to shove and all of Diddy's dirty laundry got aired? Well, guess who was the first to throw dirt on Meek's name and expose his involvement? That's right, Nicki. Diddy's latest lawsuits have shown just how dirty he really is. But he's not the only person implicated in the dirty deeds. Where Diddy goes, Meek Mill just follows. His name has popped up and it's not looking great for him. Apparently, Nicki Minaj might have tried to warn us about Diddy a couple of years before all these lawsuits started. She might also know a bit about her ex, Meek Mill's, alleged relationship with Diddy. Rumors about Diddy and Meek have been around for a while, but things just got messier when Diddy's former producer, Rodney Jones, filed a wild lawsuit accusing Diddy of running a criminal enterprise and having relationships with famous rappers and R&B singers, allegedly including Meek Mill and Usher. As soon as this lawsuit hit, Meek started clapping back online, arguing with bloggers and fans, but he didn't outright deny the allegations. Meanwhile, an old clip of Nicki resurfaced where she seemed to hint that Meek might be on the DL. She also hinted that Meek was possibly abusive towards her, and now fans are comparing her situation to what Cassie went through. But how much did Nicki really know about Diddy and Meek's alleged relationship? Let's break it down. On February 26th, Diddy's former producer, Lil Rod, filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of all kinds of serious stuff: running a RICO enterprise, recruiting young people, dealing with substances, and using law enforcement connections to cover it all up. The lawsuit didn't just target Diddy, it also named other big names in the music industry. And while Meek and Usher's names were redacted, there were enough hints for people to figure out who was being talked about. Now let's talk about Meek Mill's connection to this. Some old rumors about Meek and Diddy resurfaced when people started linking the redacted names to them. There's also an old video of Meek lounging in a pool while Diddy praises him, calling him daddy. And then there's that pic of Meek and Diddy in matching outfits. Yeah, it's adding more fuel to the fire. To be clear, the issue isn't about Diddy and Meek's preferences. It's about the lawsuit claiming Diddy was running a criminal enterprise and allegedly recruiting young people into questionable situations with him and his industry buddies. And let's not forget the allegations about Meek allegedly putting his hands on Nicki Minaj during their relationship. Earlier this year, one of Meek's former associates claimed he witnessed Meek spit on Nicki and even lock her out of their house in the woods. Nicki never officially accused Meek of anything, but she did hint at mistreatment during a social media feud back in 2020, implying that Meek is tough with women but scared of men. Now, Meek is trying to defend himself by saying that people are just trying to ruin him because he's an independent artist. He went off on DJ Academics for talking about the lawsuit, and he even posted some tweets trying to convince everyone how much he likes women. But those tweets just made things worse, with fans saying it looked like he was trying too hard to prove something. Then, to top it all off, an old video resurfaced of Nicki talking about how there are a lot of undercover guys in the music industry. People are now connecting the dots and saying that the real issue isn't Meek and Diddy's preferences, but the fact that both of them have been accused of mistreating women. Now, Meek's career was already tanking a bit, even before these serious allegations came up that implicated him being involved with Diddy in some shady business. The downfall. People were saying, "Man, Meek's done. Drake finished him. Nicki's left him. He went to jail. He's done." From being a talented young rapper in the streets of Philly and growing up to create cultural anthems like Dreams and Nightmares, that intro is classic, to constantly being joked about online, and recently even asking his fans if he fell off, Meek Mill has gained a reputation for being emotional, corny, and even hypocritical. He's ultra-sensitive. Many believe that ever since Nicki left him, he's become a nobody. But the question is, how did he put himself in this position? Is it because of the many questionable posts like some of these, or could it be from all of the beefs he's been involved in and how they turned out? Some of Meek Mill's decisions have hurt his reputation so badly that it's something he may never fully recover from. Many believe that the very first mistake he made was going after Drake in 2015. Drake appeared on Meek's song "Rico" for his new album, and Drake's verse is what allegedly began the beef. "Old ways, new women, gotta keep a balance. The girl of your dreams to me is probably not a challenge." Meek then got on Twitter and made a tweet accusing Drake of not writing his own lyrics. Meek felt Drake was talking about Nicki Minaj, who Meek Mill was dating at the time. And we can't forget Drake has a past with Nicki Minaj from his Young Money days. After Meek sent that tweet, the rest was history. Drake got the win and changed rap forever. But for Meek, it was a nightmare. All over social media, he was taking heat for losing, and it couldn't have been easy. But the nightmare was just getting started. For the next year, things were pretty quiet between the two, but in 2020, everything exploded. Meek and Nicki Minaj's now husband, Kenneth Petty, got into a shouting match at a West Hollywood shopping store. In a video captured by TMZ, you can hear the yelling. Things got even uglier and serious accusations were made, including domestic disputes, defending convicted criminals, among other things, and both sides denied those allegations. But Nicki wasn't done. Meek was later sent to prison for slip-ups such as travel violations over the years, getting arrested over a scuffle at the airport. But what turned out as a negative turned into a huge positive. Meek Mill received support from everyone, including Roc Nation, Jay-Z, Michael Rubin, Kevin Hart, and many others. Eventually, his legal team was even able to get him out on bail after only serving 5 months. When Meek Mill was released, he had all the spotlight on him. It was his time. He took a helicopter from prison to the 76ers game. He had interviews all over, including on The Ellen Show and Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Later in 2018, he released an album called Championships, which sold 229,000 copies in its first week and debuted #1 on Billboard. He also squashed his beef with Drake, and that led to the smash hit Going Bad. Meek Mill was back, and many would argue better and more popular than ever. So, if Meek was on top of the rap game and had all of this going for him, what happened? Meek Mill has never been afraid of posting or saying what's on his mind. In a sense, that's part of his downfall. Meek will post about anything, and I mean anything, from asking about vibrating panties, saying things like, "My D is too good," to saying he gets freakier as he gets older and never thought he'd be eating certain things. Pictures of him eating soggy fries in the pool, asking how his fans in Africa listen to his music, and he even said he was quitting Twitter forever. And spoiler alert, that didn't last. But not all of the posts are on the cringy side. Some will just make you flat out shake your head. Even though I don't think he did this with bad intent, Meek Mill had lyrics in a song about Kobe Bryant's passing only a year after it happened, and it caused outrage. Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife, was not happy about this, and she said Meek could do better. To Meek's credit, he apologized for this. But there are a lot of people on social media who aren't as nice as Vanessa Bryant, and they're not afraid of letting Meek know how they feel. Anyway, what's your take on this crazy situation? Do you think Nicki wants SZA to go downhill, something like Meek Mill? Let us know about it down in the comment section.